Welcome to Dirt Secrets, where we dig deep into the stories, strategy, and surprises of building and buying in Central Florida's hottest neighborhoods.
We're Kim and Amanda from Builders Concierge Group, your insiders in the builder world.
From helping builders create custom urban infill projects, even when that means knocking down an old home, to guiding buyers and relocation clients through every step.
We know the dirt, the deals, and the details that turn big dreams into beautiful addresses.
So grab your hard hat
And your coffee.
Let's dig in.
Hello, welcome to Dirt Secrets. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Kim.
We're here today. We're going to explore the rich and vibrant history and the communities of Florida. We're taking a deep dive into the charming city of Winter Park, its fascinating past, and some of its oldest surviving homes. Let's get started.
Winter Park, I'm sure everybody has been to Park Avenue. Everyone's dined in one of the fabulous restaurants, but Winter Park is a really interesting city. It started out actually as like a mill town where Rollins College sits today. There used to be a lumber mill and citrus. There was citrus all over. And, you know, part of like the preserve that's over there off of Lake Mizell, that was all at one time citrus groves. What is today Windsong. Sorry, it took me a moment. What is today Windsong? And I remember when I first moved to Winter Park, Windsong was just one big orange grove. It just smelled so wonderful. But there was a big freeze in the latter part of the 19th century that kind of wiped that out as a citrus destination. And so therefore it became a winter residence for wealthy people from up north to escape the cold. And when the train came in, of course, it became much easier to pack up your whole family in, around November and head on down to beautiful Winter Park. Today, Winter Park has about 30,000 residents. And when you go down the street, you can see why it's called Park. There's beautiful, lush trees, mature landscaping, brick-lined streets, amazing homes, several lakes. There's a chain of lakes that features 5 beautiful lakes. Is it 5 or is it 6? I always wonder if you can consider.
I think you can't get motorboats between one of them.
Nina,
but I think you can paddling.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people that know much more about the Winter Park chain than I do, but they're all spectacular lakes. Their water quality is amazing and just provide so many, not just beautiful views, but, beautiful recreation opportunities in Winter Park. And there is a public access to it. So it's definitely an integral part of Winter Park. The story begins back in 1858. It was the Mizell family. You still see that name all over Winter Park today on streets. And they sat along their lakes and they called it Lakeview, which very descriptive. And over the years, the name was first changed to Osceola, which there is still an Osceola Drive. And there's still Lake Osceola in 1870. But in 1881 is when 2 names that once again, there's still streets named in Winter Park for them. The Loring Chase and Oliver Chapman came to the area inspired by the beautiful, they're like, wow, I can't believe it's this kind of weather in the winter. Yeah. You have to think people, lived very close to where they grew up. They never traveled a lot.
It was difficult.
And so if you're coming from some place that's always cold and dreary in the winter and you come down and look at one of these beautiful lakes and let's stay. So they decided to create a town and they named it Winter Park. So that was when it actually became what it is today. And after the railroad came in 1880, that really completely changed the aspect, of course. And
until the Great Freeze.
Yes, until the Great Freeze. But there were big hotels like on Alabama. What today is the Alabama Condo was a huge tourist hotel where people spent the winter and just looked out over the gorgeous views all winter long. And then Rollins College came along very early in Winter Park's development. 1885 is when Rollins was founded, and it is Florida's oldest college. And it's a place, the people that founded it, they brought their kind of liberal arts, some of the smaller, more prestigious institutions in New England, they brought that same type of education down here. So Rollins even today is known for its fabulous liberal arts programs in writing and in theater. There's just so many great things.
So
and it's
many
such a
things.
great resource for the community. If you've never been to the museum there, just walking around the campus.
It's
The campus
gorgeous.
is so beautiful. A lot of people take their engagement pictures and their prom pictures and stuff there, and it's still beautiful to this day. They also there's a lot of other important landmarks in Winter Park. There is a
lot you can see from the Winter Park boat tours.
The boat tour is great. Yeah, the boat tour is a lot of fun.
It's
but
such a great.
like
always
there's
do that.
On Park Avenue, there's the Morse Park, and it was donated to the city by Charles Homer Morse, as well as the museum. I don't know if you've ever been to the Tiffany Museum, but it is just absolutely stunning. They salvaged a entire room from Louis Tiffany's house, original home, and recreated it in the museum. And it is definitely an ode to that late 19th century, early 20th century art. It's so, the colors, you walk in there and you're just absolutely stunned. But that is a beautiful monument, and it's free on Friday nights. Some people don't know.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, from 5 to 8. The city's history, it's not without its dramatic moments. The Great Winter Park Sinkhole. If you've lived in Winter Park any time at all, you hear about that. But it swallowed an entire city block, and that's got
1981.
Yeah, it was
almost
a long time ago.
I saved a little bit.
But it's been stabilized and re-landscaped now. It looks like a little lake. But there are several homes that are still standing in Winter Park that are very, very old. Very old by Florida standards, anyway.
Right.
There's the Morse House, on Park Avenue. It was built in the late 1800s, and it's a Victorian era home, and it's still there. When they built homes there was no air conditioning, there was no insulation.
That's right.
But they built them out of cypress, which is incredibly resilient and good.
And it's historic.
And good for the Florida.
Not coming down.
Florida, I would say it's not coming down.
Rehabs.
Then at Interlochen Avenue, Interlochen is where you will see some of the most beautiful residences, I think, in Winter Park. The lots are enormous. You've got lots of lake views. You've got brick. You've got just everything around there is just beautiful. The golf course,
tree line,
Casa Feliz, you've got all that
Casa
there.
Feliz, beautiful.
And then you've got the Tadiki House. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but it's on Interlochen as well at 521, and it was built in the 1890s. And it's very, just everything they did then in that Gilded Age.
That grand,
if anybody's
elegant.
ever watched Gilded Age, everything was very decorated, very elegant, and you could just imagine the ladies walking down Park Avenue with their parasols. And, yeah, I'm sure it was lovely. And the Winter Park Post Office is on Lakemont. That is also, it was built in the late 1800s.
I didn't realize that.
It was not just a post office. It was also like the community center, like they had,
right.
You came in there. You came in there to get news. You came in there to, they didn't have
spill the tea,
to spill the tea, and so
as we say today,
is still there. And then the Women's Club of Winter Park,
which I remember of.
Yeah. That is a beautiful old building on South Interlochen Avenue. And it is still to this day. It was remodeled in the 20s, so it's had a refresh. That was the 1920s, not the 2020s. But it is beautiful, classic details, and a lot of people have engagement parties and debutante parties and that sort of thing there, because it's just a stunning old building.
I've learned a lot of new stuff here. I mean, I work and sell in here. We do a lot of tear downs and rebuilds. We're primarily College Park. We're kind of growing towards Winter Park as well. There's been a lot of people doing that very well here as well. I didn't know after the stuff. I love the Winter Park boat tours. I learned a lot on that. You just gave me more information, which is awesome.
It's such a cool little city. And I think everybody thinks about, the restaurants and the shops, things that are happening there currently, but it really does for Florida. It has a lot of history. And, I know that people are like, well, why in the world would you come to a historic district and tear down homes? But sometimes the homes they've outlived their usefulness. They're not classical treasures like we were talking about earlier. They've had some neglect. They're not functional anymore. Nobody wants a 1,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. So we try to replace it with something that is both beautiful, blends in with the neighborhood, meets today's current needs, and just improves the look of the whole street.
Right. We keep the history, but we also move forward like we have done, where it's at. Yeah. You mentioned the orange groves too. That they moved out to Dr. Phillips. Yeah. And then that got redeveloped as well. Dr. Phillips has then donated about 200 acres in College Park, developing the packing district. Right. They were right by the railroad tracks. That's where they took all the oranges all over. It was a very prosperous field. Profession for a lot of people here in Central Florida back then. They've decommissioned that part of the railroad tracks. They are developing the packing district. There's some amazing things happening at the packing district right now. So we've got a whole revibrance there with a whole lot of history. But there's so much to Winter Park and College Park and all these areas that we're building in. We can't make more land. That's the reason we do infill. But we don't want to tear down everything. So we want you to know the rich history. We want you to know why we do it with some and not others, and why remodeling could be a better reason to do that. So much about Winter Park kind of started Central Florida and has transformed to what we all know and love as Winter Park. But what really put Central Florida on the map, and Orlando on the map, is when a man named Walt Disney came in silently buying some land.
The big mouse.
He did some amazing things.
Part of Central Florida.
Tell us
their identity. You know?
Oh my gosh! Everybody hears Orlando. All they think about is the mouse.
I have traveled all over the world, and the minute I say I'm from Orlando, everybody has their Disney World story.
Yes.
It might have been a 20 years ago Disney World story. It might have been last week, but everybody has their Disney World story no matter where I go. So it's always kind of nice to be associated with that fun and happy times. And, people think I'm like, we don't go to theme parks every day, but they're there if we want to.
Oh, it made us an international destination.
Absolutely. For sure. Absolutely. Today we have a wonderful airport and wonderful transportation systems because of Disney. Because they did what they did, and they had the vision and insight in 1960, and they didn't open until, was it 1976? 71. It's 71. They opened in October. Actually, they're celebrating
11 years from raw land to
their anniversary. And my father and mother were school teachers, and they took us out of school to come down to a grand opening of Disney World because my father was so excited.
Today we have social media clips of people getting told that they're going. You missed that part.
Yes, I did. I got to lay out of school and go to Disney World the weekend opening. So it definitely has some really special memories for me.
And Kim, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, and the tickets.
I love it.
You had the ticket books.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom was constantly keeping up with the tickets, and it was stressful. It's much less stressful now.
Yeah, they didn't. Now it's just too many people.
Now it's just too many people. Yeah, they didn't have it figured out. But that really changed the whole face of Orlando. And I think it brought in so much more development, technology. We've got the research park, we've got Creative Village. And I don't think any of those people would
Milk
have
District, Hourglass District.
I don't think those people would have ever, that brought these huge corporations in like Lockheed and Boeing. They never would have done that without Disney. Disney started it all and put us on the map.
Absolutely, but we also have a very rich small business, and a lot of these areas have a lot of that. So there's a good mixture of everything. So we're always Orlando, great for our market and what we do for a living. Everybody's always looking to come here in some form or fashion. We're always in the top 10 of something. Yeah, Orlando is best destination for this, whether it's Disney, if it's this, if it's that. So there's so many different aspects, and Disney's been a huge aspect of it. I love Mickey Mouse. We need to, wear our ears a little more often, I guess. But it's been an incredible impact to our city here. We're sheltered from the actual coast. We're close, but it also allows us to have a little bit different building codes that help with costs. It allows us to minimize the amount of flood insurance that's required in a lot of our areas. And a lot of times we don't get hit as hard with our hurricanes versus the coast, but we're a quick drive to each coast. So Orlando is definitely centered in the right location, and Walt Disney definitely made us an international destination.
No doubt. But I think that, like Amanda was talking, what is always amazing to me about Orlando is just the diverse little pocket neighborhoods. It's like everybody kids me about not leaving my zip code. I live in College Park now, but I'm like, why do I need to? Everything I have is right here. People feel the same way about the Milk District. They feel the same way with the Hourglass District. They're creating a similar district over by the Packing District with all the new things and the redevelopment that's come over there. So it's like whatever you feel like. But if you more like gated subdivisions and bigger lots, you could go out to Southwest and to Winter Garden and find those things. It's just what's amazing is it's not a monolithic housing market here. It is so rich and diverse.
From older homes to brand new construction and the quaintness of it all.
Style, whatever you want.
A lot of people come from these big neighborhoods up north, North Carolina, where, big acreage and not super close together. And every house is about the same age, in the same, decade at least. And they're looking for that here. But the benefit is this rich history, the close-knit, your neighbors. I mean, everybody knows everybody. I mean, we're in a big city that feels like it's 2 degrees of separation. It's got so much to it. And I love the quaintness of having older homes and brand new homes together. So things don't, the mature landscaping and, it doesn't look, because we're going to have smaller lot sizes. So when you have these bigger, grand new homes, it can almost put Stepford wifey? If that's a way to, cookie cutter. It could look that, and don't get me wrong, that's beautiful too. And nothing is perfect for everyone. We all have our different tastes, but there is a charmness to the infill. And then being in a location where you have that small town feel, but you're accessible to everywhere. College Park is probably one of the best located zip codes as far as getting on to Winter Park in 10 minutes, to downtown, to Disney in 20. I mean, everything is so close and so accessible, but small town. Almost, I mean, Edgewater, I think, closes down at 11. It's very quiet. Pretty much. But you have these great restaurants and amazing shops and a lot of small business.
And supporting local businesses, which is really important.
It's just quaint. And now we're pushing into the Packing District. If you don't know what that is, I encourage you to look up the website, The Packing District. It's where they packed all the oranges, like we talked about earlier. It's going to have a lot of walkability. You're going to be able to live there, lock your doors, walk anywhere you want to go. Publix.
Oh, they built
YMCA.
Publix at a Y that are just.
They have a little 50s diner that's so adorable.
Yep. The food hall. There's just lots of great things happening over there.
We've got a lot of new construction that's towards that area going right now. We used to not build there, and now we build there. It's changing the landscape significantly of College Park, where people are driving to that location a lot more. So much here to learn and see the rich history and how we're incorporating that, but also coming into modern times.
Yeah, take a tour. Like 2 minutes ago, go to the Winter Park Boat Tour. That is always a great afternoon, especially this time of year. It's so pleasant. Beautiful. The Orange County History Museum, truly one of the best small history museums I've ever seen, and I visit museums all over.
Yes, you do.
So there's a lot of things that beyond the theme parks that are here to see. And
so much more than that. So you get the combination of both for sure. Well, that's it for us for another episode on Dirt Secrets. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Kim.
And join us next time.
That's another episode of Dirt Secrets, where we uncover the real stories and strategies behind building and buying in Central Florida.
If you're a builder ready to make your mark with a custom urban infill project, a buyer looking for the perfect home, or someone relocating here for a fresh start, we're here to guide you from blueprint to closing.
Make sure to follow the show on your favorite podcast app so you'd never miss a single secret and to stay ahead of the market.
You can find us at buildersconciergegroup.com or on Instagram and Facebook at Builders Concierge Group, where we share listings, behind-the-scene tours, and sneak peeks of what's coming next.
We'd love to hear from you. Send your questions, your dream home wish list, or your own dirt secret, and we might feature it in a future episode.
Remember, whether you're breaking ground, buying your first home, or finding your Florida forever home,
the right property isn't just built, it's crafted with the right team, the right strategy, and the right connections.
You've been listening to Dirt Secrets, and we'll see you on the next episode.